Where's the video? Hello and welcome to the International Juggler live stream. It's our live stream that we do for patrons and supporters and other people who want to just come out and chat. I'm Luke Burge. This is
Juliana. Hello.
Hello. And this is the International Juggler stream. So what we get normally, what we do is I share on Instagram and on Twitter. I share clips every day. Generally every day, I share some little clips of places that I've juggled in the past. And the reason I'm doing this is during COVID lockdown, not many people can travel. More people can travel now. More news on that in a second. So instead of me just sitting at home going, oh, I don't have anything to share on Instagram, it was a little project for the lockdown. This might be the last month that I've done it because this has been theme. Normally I've done themes, and the themes have been like, mountains. No, I haven't done mountains. But yeah, fountains versus waterfall, boats and things. And this is the theme of random. So just literally, I looked through each one of the 2,000, however many thousand clips that I've got over the past 11 years of traveling and videoing myself juggling, and I've just found fun little clips and fun scenes. So it's just randoms.
Some of them actually had some correlation to current events.
Some of them have very rough correlations to some events. So it started off a while ago, and let's just get straight into it now. Normally I've been like every single time I've shared a video, I've got it into Final Cut, done an edit, adjusted the colors, maybe the framing, whatever like that. But at the start of the month I had some real issues with Final Cut and I couldn't export it. So this time out I haven't actually done edited. I haven't edited out the start of me walking around and doing the framing and
so
walking
we see the
away.
Raw footage.
So this time, for the first time, it's the raw footage, which means that sometimes the way that I actually share this now on the live stream, it won't fill the entire screen, but hopefully people won't mind. So to make this work, I think some of them will maybe be a little bit small, but if I go like this and press pause there, and then click over on this thing here, maybe you'll be able to see something. This is cool.
Looks good.
The rest of them hopefully will
oh,
fill
look at the
screen.
finger. Oh no, it's the food.
It's the food. So yeah, someone's fingers just fallen off. So I started off with just some randoms, which aren't even me juggling, but this is kind of a juggling. It's just me no, actually not me. I did do some of this, throwing some food. So if you want to call this passing, let's call this passing. This is juggling.
Passing between the seagull and the person, and the human.
Managed to get some things.
Did catch it?
Yeah, this was off the coast of
nice.
Denmark, I think. So not me juggling, but some throwing and catching with the birds, and it was really good fun to do this. We actually started off just by getting bits of pizza and holding the pizza off the back, and then the bird, because we were going along, the birds can actually just go at the same speed as the boats. They'd come up and take it out the hand. But then we decided, hey, throwing it is more fun, and of course throwing it is more fun. All right, next up we have. Do I have to go over here? Yeah, that's what I need to do. I need to close that and then go over here and bring up this thing here. Okay, so next up, bring up this thing over here. Next up, wow, this stream. Next up is monkey problems. I'm just going to turn the audio up a little bit here. So this is me on Gibraltar. I actually had in the Unimpressed Animals Week, was one of the previous themes, and I had some videos of me juggling for these monkeys, and the monkeys, macaques, Barbary macaques were unimpressed. It turns out I'd been there before, and I was like, oh, I remember on that same day. It wasn't. It was just another time I've been to Gibraltar and had some fun with the monkeys here. And
oh no, it's gonna steal it.
Yeah,
oh,
and
no.
it steals the thing. And I think I shared this back in.
They're very interested in. They must have a stash of things that they got
stuff
from
that they've
people.
Stolen out of people's
pockets
and stuff. And then of course
the tripod,
the little gorilla pod thing was very popular with the monkeys. Anyway, some fun clips there. All right, another thing. I actually got a video of me juggling in this thing, but I also decided to share some cliff jumping.
Ooh.
This was me jumping off a cliff. I actually think, this is one that I actually managed to edit.
Isn't that a sinkhole?
Yes, it's a sinkhole. This is the Bima sinkhole in Oman. You drive down the coast from Muscat, the capital city, and you can find this thing. And this is a place that I'd seen online, and it's weirdly one of the places I remember back in the early, what's the vlogger's name? Corey Neistat or something, and he was given some money to travel around the world and do crazy things. And one of the crazy things that he did was going and jumping into the Bima sinkhole, because it's this beautiful, it's like this crater.
It's not crystal clear.
Crystal clear water in the bottom that seeps. It's actually fresh water it's right next to the sea. So this is water that's slowly seeping down into the sea.
Is it salty?
No, it's fresh water. You just jump in. And so I decided to jump in there. There's just a ledge that you can go up. Nice. There's some other people, but I was the only one jumping in at the time. And I also got a video of me juggling there as well. Next up, with a random thing, this is the non-leaning tower of Pisa. And you were actually with me on this trip, weren't you?
Yes.
I think, yeah.
I think I was.
And this is me juggling here. And a fun story from this place, actually that same day, I was juggling there and somebody came over to me and was like, hey, juggler, I know you. So this is sometimes it's happened maybe 10 times in total where I've actually gone somewhere and juggled and then I've been recognized by some other people.
Unless you're being recognized through your voice for the
that
podcast.
has happened, yeah. Once I was in New York and I was just taking photos of the it was the anniversary. I think it was the 10-year anniversary of 9/11. No, it must have been the 9-year anniversary of 9/11. And I was just standing at a dock taking photos across in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And someone said, "Could you take a photo of us?" And I said, "Yeah, no problem." And as I was talking, somebody it was pitch black. It was night because we were taking photos of the light. Somebody recognized my voice from the juggling podcast and came over and said, "Hey, are you Luke Burridge? I recognize your voice." And it was quite funny.
In New York City.
In New York City, random
crazy.
person.
Yeah.
All right, next up, it's the same joke as last time. It's me. This is the
non-leaning.
Well, in the other one, it's the non-leaning tower, whereas this one, it's I've put the road flat, and this is in San Francisco. It's just the famous place where they do the car chases and the trams go up and down, and you can hold on to it.
Very steep hills.
So I was there. I visited San Francisco after the Portland juggling festival that I was invited over to in 2011.
Yeah.
And
so you made the street horizontal and then the house tips.
Yeah, but also there's just a tram. The tram that goes past is just fun, and there's actually a really, really long tourist queue down at the bottom. No, long queue of tourists, because this is not public transport for normal San Franciscans. It's mostly a tourist attraction at this part anyway. But you see these people holding onto the side and at the back. Turns out, as it's just going along, it just stops at some traffic lights. You can just run up and jump on, and the person driving it either sits in this one is sitting at the front, and then there's also a ticket person who stands at the back.
Yeah,
just didn't care. I just jumped on, and he's like, "Yeah, that's what people do." Seemed to be totally fine with it, which is really good fun. This is the Horse Guards Parade, and it's the thing that, like, can you distract them? And he's obviously not interested at all in this.
No.
This was a trip that we did to London in 2012.
Yeah.
There's actually a video, one of my most watched international jugglers videos on YouTube was a video that I made called "No Fun in Trafalgar Square," and it was and I made it for the Hello Internet podcast, because in Hello Internet podcast they were talking about about all the signs around Trafalgar Square, like no fun, no climbing on the lions, no going into the into the fountains, no fun, nobody's allowed to do anything, nothing at all. And we had that on that same day, that same experience. So I actually have a video of me doing some bounce juggling, and just to get an international juggler clip, and then someone who comes up and just says, you're just saying, "Oh, you're not allowed to do here, no ball games." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm just getting a clip." And so I made a little video edit of me doing that and just said "No Fun in Trafalgar Square" and just posted it, I think, on the Hello Internet Reddit. Yeah. Turns out lots of Hello Internet people lots of jugglers seem to listen to Hello Internet, and actually were like, "Hey Luke, is this you that they're talking about on the Hello Internet podcast?" They have like a million listeners, so it's
that's fun.
So suddenly there was 10,000 views on that video.
So yeah, as you see, that's obviously a theme in London.
No
London
fun in the Horse Guards Parade either. And you can hear Juliana saying, "Oh no." Anyway, moving on. This is the Play Factory that we visited at some point, and I think this was the year before. Maybe, I'm not sure if you were there that year.
Yeah.
And it was the in the background you can see various jugglers. I don't recognize that guy, but there's Bob Carr, as we see here. Davide, who owns the Play juggling factory there. This is in Italy.
Yeah.
Over here is his father and his cat, I guess.
Is that Ollie?
Who's Ollie?
His
father.
The guy with the red shirt.
No, this is Wes Peden. This is Flo, over there, and this is Tony Pezzo, and I think there were some other jugglers there as well. But we were some of the people who'd been in the show, and they're like, "Hey, as a fun outing, let's go over and check it out." Yeah, there is another person there. Oh no, that's Flo. Yeah. So it's just a few of us, and I decided to pick up some juggling balls and get someone to film me.
I think that was the time when I was there with you.
Was it? So you might have been the person filming this too.
Yes.
Who knows? And it cuts off. This is an unedited video, so this is just one that cuts off. All right, next up, I was in this one. I actually posted on Midsummer's Night. This is one that I posted on the 21st of June. And this is the I went to the Estonia Circus Festival. Very small festival,
Yeah.
only like 50 people there or something.
That's cute.
And
yeah.
but this isn't the festival.
Oh.
As part of the juggling festival or circus festival, we went down and did some little bits of juggling also we just went down to take part in their Midsummer's Night festival there.
Oh, right. That's from
St.
the town.
John's Night, and they have a big fire.
Yeah.
And this is like
huge.
this is actually
Is it
really
hot?
late at night. Oh yeah, massively hot. Like I've got a hood on, and
Yeah.
I have to have a hood on just so the back of my head doesn't burn.
Ooh.
And so it gets really, really hot, and then as it like burns down, people walk closer and
Closer,
closer
closer,
over
yeah.
the night.
That's
But yeah, we
huge.
did some juggling there. I made a vlog about it, so you can see this stuff in one of my vlogs. So check out the vlog of Luke is vlogging Estonia Circus Festival. And although I actually posted the share this time on the night of the longest night of the year, longest day of the year, the 21st. But actually, in Estonia, they have their Midsummer's Night Festival on the 22nd. So
Right.
that's why up here on the date it says
That's
22nd.
funny.
Next up, we have Lublin in 2012 at the European Juggling Convention. This is what I normally edit out of this, is like if someone's standing exactly where on a juggle, I'm just like, hey, can you just pop over to the left? And I always wait for people to get out of here. I line myself up, and in this case I wanted a video with the guy walking across the tightrope in the background.
Of course.
And I didn't know how long he was going to go. Also, they were falling off quite a bit, so I really wanted me juggling 5 clubs and then him falling off, and then I was going to like drop at the same time, was the idea of this clip.
Yeah.
But I think I heard something and then dropped. But you see this person is dangling here at the back.
Yeah.
So this was pretty much then just became Luke Endurance. And then I think those people were clapping me, but I wasn't interested in what I was doing. I wanted to get a video with this guy in the background. Yeah, see,
It looks really
this
fun.
person's dropped off, and now they're climbing and standing back up. This person.
Yeah, I see that. That's fun.
So that was just me dropping. I didn't mean to drop. And then I was like, all right, now get into position, and now this is the clip. This is actually the clip that I shared on Instagram this time.
I can see quite a few jugglers walking past as well.
Oh yeah, because it was during the European Juggling Convention, and like loads of people like down here in the background are just jugglers who are hanging out there. And in the end, he took too long. He didn't fall off, and I really wanted him to fall off. And then I worked out he's probably past me now.
That's fine.
And I stopped.
But it's a really good coincidence.
Yeah, so that's Lublin in Poland there.
Yeah.
So next up, this was a juggling festival that you came to me with. This was in 2014. Actually, no, it wasn't. It was in 2015. This was just, and it was at the Juggling on Ice Festival, and that was a juggling festival in a circus, mostly juggling convention in Austria. And they have a ice rink there, and they theme the juggling convention "Juggling on Ice." And
because every time they have the convention, they have access to the ice rink.
So you all go down, everyone gets given a pair of ice skates, and everyone does juggling, and then they do the juggling games on the ice. And that was really good fun. Turns out Tony Pezzo, he was the one of the other guests there, really good at both ice skating and also juggling. I don't know where he's from in the United States, but maybe he comes from one of those northern states. I don't know. Minnesota? I'm not sure where he's from. But either way, obviously has more experience with ice skating than me, and also a better juggler than me. Certainly back then. So here we are in Condom, which in France. This was actually the place that we stayed at before we got to Toulouse for the Toulouse the EJC in Toulouse
in 2013.
In July there, and we've been traveling around and camping, and we actually camped in Condom. I made a joke, the safest place to juggle, but actually that was the day that Juliana was actually attacked by someone, because they noticed she was carrying an iPad, because we'd been to a pool, walking back to the campsite, and she was there, and somebody came over and reached over and grabbed Juliana, and I thought, oh, it's another juggler on the my instant reaction.
Somebody hugging from behind.
Yeah, like someone runs up and goes, yay, and grabs you, but it wasn't. It was somebody wanting to steal Juliana's
I held
iPad.
onto it.
Julian held onto him, and then I punched him in the face really hard, and then some other people who were there chased after him.
That was crazy.
It was a crazy day, adrenaline day. So
not
there we
safe.
Go. Condom.
Really.
We literally went to stay in Condom for one reason, and that was because it was called Condom. I got another video of me juggling in front of a statue, the Four Musketeers. Four Musketeers statue was actually there, because there may be some connection. So here we are with them in this guy. They're pushing me.
Tanzania.
Yeah, this was in Tanzania. It's enough, he says. It's enough, and pushes me off. And then Juliana presses stop on the video before it naturally should have ended. And this is the thing, when we're getting now with Juliana, we're like, okay, press record, keep videoing. If something interesting happens, if I stop juggling, that's not the end. Like, keep it rolling and rolling, because this could have been, there could have been more interesting stuff. You know, she presses record while I'm already juggling. And now we're much better at setting this up.
This is like, I don't know, a few months after we met. So I'm really not...
You weren't an expert camera person, camera operator by then.
Really
but now the whole thing is always start recording before you think you should.
Try.
When I finished, always just leave it, and then leave it, and leave it, and leave it, and then there'll be an edit point, and then we'll leave it off. So that was in Tanzania in 2012. This is in a place called Schwerin, which is like the capital city of a state in Germany called, I can't remember which one it is.
Mecklenburg-Vorpommern.
Yeah. And we found various places around this castle. There's another place which I didn't get a video of because it's weird, because it's just like a view, and they put like a picture frame there, and with a white wall around it, so you can just stand there and it looks like you're looking through some painterly view.
You didn't catch them all.
And I got a video of me juggling there, and then I've seen other ones. Stefan Sifra also shared video of him juggling around this same castle. So it turns out this is a fun place to juggle. What do you mean I don't catch the last ball? Yeah, actually, what I'm doing is I decide to juggle a really high pattern so it takes up more space.
And then you throw one high.
Oh yeah, one high, because I wanted to get it all the way up there.
And then you didn't.
Yeah, because I think I wasn't looking at the ball, I was looking at you into the camera. Yeah, it happened. Anyway, that was a fun trip out also in 2012. Next up, this was actually the same day. No, this was the day after. We went to
Hamburg.
Oh no, this would have been the same day, but I guess I'd left my camera on South America time or something. So yeah, we went to Hamburg, and we went to the Miniature World, which is the world's largest by exhibit or something like that. Largest by exhibit model railway. So there's trains that run around.
It's big,
and this is miniature Hamburg in Hamburg. It's very impressive. One of the most impressive things I think isn't the railways, because you've seen railway. One is a whole working airport, and the planes actually take off. They're all
land.
And they don't follow tracks, they follow like magnetic paths. So when a plane comes into land, then it taxes to the thing, and then it comes out. It's really impressive. It's totally worth a visit.
It's really cool. You can literally look at all they have people set up, and you can discover little scenes. And it's really
like
good
a Where's Waldo as well. They're like, hey, see if you can see in the whole of this place these 20 little images, and as you're walking around, you're like, Juliana's like, there's someone knocked into some bins. There's little tableaus. So that's really fun place to juggle. And so I said my caption that I put on here when I shared it on Instagram and Twitter was, I am very large. And then someone else made a comment saying, it's a funnier joke, or saying, you should say, I'm huge in Germany. So then I edited my Instagram post to say, I'm huge in Germany. So that's pretty good.
You are huge.
Next up this is one of the tunnels under the Reichstag.
Yes.
Juliana's father works in the German government, and we visited there a few times. This was one time. I think maybe my sister was with us. I can't remember. It was. No,
I think this might have been just the one where we visited. Yeah, we visited. Like you and my family. And then we visited a few more times with family.
I'd actually shared a video from this day as well. It's really difficult to juggle on something which isn't flat and with a light shining in your eyes. Turns out.
But it looks really pretty.
In the bridges, theme day, I actually shared some of these as well. Another one of these where there's some bridges in the.
There are bridges across. Yeah.
Wow. How often did I take? This is where I just put my phone, I think, on a little tripod maybe. So,
look at the shadow. The shadow looks really funny.
Yeah, but the shadow is really fun. I can't remember which of these clips that I did. Of course, once I put it on my phone, then I edit it in the Photos app or whatever it is to get down to the certain length that I want, and then share it. So there we go, and I finally get it.
Well done.
Took me ages. All right, next up, that's the German Parliament. This is a Eyjafjallajökull glacier. This is the one which people all know from the Ash Cloud.
Eyjafjallajökull.
Yeah, this is the Ash Cloud volcano, and I'd visited it there in 2007 with on my first trip to Iceland. I went on we got into a big 4-wheel drive truck. This was me and Pola, and we went up to that glacier and up to the volcano, and you can't really see the volcano because it's like under the glacier.
Yeah.
And And then I visited when we went back in 2016. Me and Juliana hired a truck. It wasn't anybody else driving. We hired it, and I was like, let's go back to that same place because I wanted to see the volcano pre-explosion gas ash cloud and afterwards. And I have some videos of me in Istanbul, juggling in Istanbul when I was there.
Because you were stranded.
I was stranded there for a week when I left a cruise ship in Istanbul, and I was meant to be joining another one, and I couldn't work it out and flew to various places.
Yeah.
Next up, this was actually a fountain place that I visited, and the videos of me juggling in front of all these fountains at this fountain park in Lima in Peru that I went with Manuel.
Yeah.
This wasn't in the International Juggler
in the category
on the fountain because it wasn't in the folder with all the other ones. It was only later.
No.
I was like, where are those clips? I'm sure I had clips of me in Lima, Peru, and they were just in because I did a vlog of that week when I was in Lima in Peru.
They were separated out somewhere
they were separated
else.
out, and then I found them. Well, it was actually because I wanted some clips of me in Antarctica, and I couldn't find them. I was like, where are the clips of me in the southernmost place that I've ever juggled? And then I realized I'd made some vlogs on that trip. One was juggling in Antarctica, and the other one was juggling in Lima in Peru.
And you took those,
and they were just in separate folders. They were just in their own folders on my archive hard drive. So I copied out the International Juggler videos into the right ones. This is in the Wimbledon men's final day.
Wimbledon?
Yes, the Wimbledon men's final day this year in 2021.
Oh, I see.
I shared this clip and I put the title up, Wrong Tennis.
Yes, because
this is world number 5. David Ferrer, and then David Ferrer is going to walk out this door behind, or just did walk out the door behind. I was just there in 2012, and
that's the US Open, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the US Open. I was in New York in 2012, and I was there at the semi-finals day, and I can't remember. Oh yeah, so this was Djokovic versus Ferrer, and just before that, I'd seen Andy Murray beat Burdick, and it was really windy, like really windy that day.
Yes.
So windy that at one point all the chairs that they have upside there, these foldable chairs, they all just got blown across the court. Yeah, like just blown across the court, and it was really windy. And then just as they started getting into this match, sort of like half a set into a 5-set match, they're like, look, there's been a storm warning. Everybody has to clear out, and everyone's like, boo!
Oh no!
Because this is right because it really filled up again. Because this is before the match starts, so everyone's out between the games. Everyone's getting some drinks, and everyone's like, boo! Like this, and then so everyone comes has to just leave, and then they played the second semi-final on the Sunday.
Yeah, and then the final.
And they said you can use your same tickets to come back and watch the remainder of this match. But I had other plans. I was actually meeting up with someone who we'd been to in Africa with, traveling around Africa with, John. Down in Coney Island, so I went down there. But then I was like, Andy Murray versus Djokovic in the final. Andy Murray had just won the Olympic gold like the month before and had just done pretty well, and I was like, I'm gonna go and see Andy Murray win his first ever major title, and he did. And even to this day, I think that his greatest ever triumph, his best ever win, because it was 5 sets. He beat Djokovic and won his first ever Grand Slam. You tried staying up.
Home, it was I watched with you, and I at 3 o'clock or something, or 2 o'clock. Yeah. I couldn't anymore, so I had to. I was falling asleep.
Yeah, so. It was a crazy experience watching Andy Murray win. And then the other time that I saw Andy Murray ever play live was at the O2 Arena. We went to see him, and it was his biggest ever defeat. He was completely thrashed by Federer, like 6-love, 6-1, and he only got that one game because Federer blatantly let him have a game. It was on Federer's serve, and Federer was just sort of like tapping it back, and Murray won the game, and everyone's like, "Hooray!" And it was over in like 50 minutes. It was like the most one-sided match Andy Murray has ever played, and it was his biggest thrashing. So I think I've seen Andy Murray's greatest ever win and his greatest ever defeat. His first ever Grand Slam win, beating Djokovic in 5 sets, which was incredible, and then him being thrashed by Federer. And those are the 2 times that I ever saw Andy Murray play, and it's literally either side of either end of the spectrum of the greatness and the rubbishness of Andy Murray. So
that's fun.
I think as a tennis fan, I think that's quite a fun little tick. Like Andy Murray's greatest ever win as a British tennis fan, Andy Murray's greatest ever failure, greatest ever defeat, in front of in London in front of a home crowd. Yeah.
And in this little video, it sounds like people are cheering for your juggling.
Yes, it does, but they're actually cheering for world number 5, David Ferrer.
Can we put this down here?
Yeah.
This is nicer.
And And then we actually saw David Ferrer as well in the O2 arena, because he was a alternate. Someone was like, oh, Nishikori's injured, but now David Ferrer, and I was like, oh, David Ferrer, but it was like a meaningless match. So it was like one of the worst days of tennis I've ever seen live.
Yeah.
Andy Murray getting totally trounced, and then and before that an alternate coming in, so it was like a meaningless match. All right, next up, this was also men's final day, was also the day of the not the Olympics, the European
World Championship.
European Championships, the Euro 2021
Football,
or 2021
or soccer,
which was Italy versus England. And I also shared this video on the same day. Wrong football. I have been to exactly one professional football match in my entire life, and it was this football match.
Is this professional football?
This was professional football. This is the oldest football club in Spain. And I was just in a place in Spain. It's called Huelva, and let me have a look. It's actually on about that Huelva, and it's a port that you go to if you want to go to somewhere else, Granada or whatever.
Right.
No, where's the place with the Granada, one of the places in Spain, which
Bilbao.
Isn't this. No, it's not Bilbao. Anyway, but there's a few places that you can go to. And we're there on a Sunday, and everyone gets off the cruise ship, and everyone's looking around.
Nothing to do.
Everything's closed, and there's no trains running. You can't do anything. And I was like, wow, this place is dead. And then I just saw loads of people walking through, and they're all going the same direction. They're all wearing like these blue and white scarves and shirts and stuff. And I was like,
means only one
and so I
thing.
walked over, and I just happened to walk around, and I was like, oh, there's the football stadium over there. So I walked over, and it was like, how much for a ticket to get in there? Like €15. Oh, it just says, tickets €15. It's not full, so it's not like they're charging. It's not like a hot ticket. So I was like, oh, okay. It was like halfway through the first half. What do you think the score was for the first, my one and only ever a professional football match that I've ever seen?
Obviously 0-0.
It was 0-0, yeah. And this is, I only had my GoPro with me that day, and so with your phone, I can actually have a little remote control on my phone. So I just press record and I'm putting my phone away there.
Fun.
So this is unedited, but it actually starts at pretty much the right place.
Yeah.
And then I go off and turn it off. So yeah, this is someone waving a flag.
That's
I was
fun.
like, oh, I'll get a juggling thing and something will happen in the background, but it's not. There was like I actually did it at that point because there was some like substitution or somebody was injured. I can't remember.
Right.
And there was lots of drumming people over here. Anyway, professional football, soccer, can't recommend it. It was quite boring. This is the thing that you in the postcards in Dingle. This is in Ireland in Dingle. This is the place where the boat comes up and then they unload the sheep and the sheep walk up there. It's in all the Irish postcards. This place.
Yeah,
it's on the
it's
Dingle
really
Peninsula.
Pretty.
It's one of those places that actually, and talking about visiting somewhere before with previous German girlfriend Pola, we'd actually visited Dingle Peninsula and gone all the way around, and we didn't realise that this really famous little spot, which is on all the postcards, was like just 100 meters away or 200 meters away from where we were at some point. And it was only later I was like, oh, this is the place, when you start looking things up a bit better.
I didn't see that there's a little boat in the shot.
Yeah, this is a little semi-inflatable boat, a little Zodiac place.
Never
Anyway,
seen it.
Ireland is a great place.
Yeah.
This is another part of our trip on the way to the
EJC in France.
We went to the Loire Valley, and I got lots of video clips of me there. This is just in a maze in one of the castles in the Loire Valley. The line that I put here was amazing. And then someone else replied to that, amazing, and I'm like, yeah, that's the joke. That's
legit. It would have been fun if you would run around and then pop up somewhere else.
Yes, but again, whenever we go to these places, you've got to remember that the reason I'm there isn't to get a video of me juggling there. The juggling video can sometimes be an excuse to visit sometimes, but generally it's just the travels I'm doing anyway. And I get a juggling video there. Yes. Like I was going to watch the tennis anyway. I went to watch that football match anyway, and then also got a video.
But this is asking for it, for you to pop up in other places.
Yeah, but we didn't. We just did that one. All right, next up we have a fun
big windmill.
This is actually, weirdly enough, a connection to the US Open.
Yeah, to the tennis.
This is in a place called Flushing or Vlissingen. Yes. If you want to go for the Dutch word, it's Vlissingen in I dropped. Oh yeah, this is where I'm juggling directly with the sun directly in my eyes. So this is Vlissingen in the Netherlands.
Yes.
English name for Vlissingen is Flushing. The place where the US the US tennis center is in a place called Flushing Meadows in Flushing, New York, which is named like New Amsterdam.
Yes.
And all these other places, like the Dutch names that they had, Flushing Flushing Meadows is where it is. So this is actually named after that. And then this was actually on the same day as the US Open finals in 2014, and we went along to a bar and watched it, and it was not great. It was like the first final, which was didn't have any of the big four of tennis. There was no Nadal, no Federer, no Djokovic, no Murray. It was Cilic versus Nishikori, and it wasn't that interesting. Cilic was just better than Nishikori that day, and they're like, we were always like, no, I don't want the big four all the time. It'd be great if somebody else won, and then somebody else won. We were like, it's more fun when like Djokovic and Murray go to 5 sets.
Of course.
Anyway, next up, this is the Tropical Nights, Tropical Islands. There's a Tropical Islands invasion, and we've been along there a few times. I've been there 6 times to the Tropical Islands as part of the juggling little gathering that we do there. And
lots of lights flickering.
Yeah, they're not flickering lights. When you look at them, they don't look like they're flickering. But here, and so these balls, I can pick them up, and they're balls that are actually behind me here. Oh, not these ones, they're just over on the right here.
Yeah.
And it turns out juggling them when they're wet is really tricky, but I got it.
They're quite slippery.
In this case, I could. They're the same balls that I travel with my show, I think. So they're a little bit slippery. Anyway, that's if you don't know what the Tropical Islands is, it's this aircraft hangar. Not an aircraft hangar. It's actually
an airship.
Zeppelin factory ship place that they were going to build Zeppelins and store Zeppelins. Airships, and it's the biggest single uninterrupted enclosed space in the world.
There's bigger
buildings, but the buildings have like columns and pillars and flat roofs and stuff like that.
It's just a huge dome.
And this is just an uninterrupted space. There's nothing in the middle of it, and they actually have like balloons that go up and down in the middle of it. And there's a water park there because the Zeppelin factory went bust, but they had this big building. Like, what are we going to do with that? And some company was like, we can make it into a resort.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's,
you can see it from the motorways.
You can see it from the air. You can see it from space, probably. Yes. People say it always reminds them of the Truman Show. You know, the big dome on the Truman Show. It feels like that when you're inside it.
Especially not only the dome, but this backdrop there with the sky and the clouds.
Yeah, the fake sky and clouds. The day of the British Grand Prix, I shared this clip
Formula One.
Of Formula One. I shared this clip of the Formula E in Berlin. Again, whenever it's happened like this, I don't want to get in the way too much. So in this case, Juliana was too slow. I'd already started juggling. And we were there, and it was fun. We've been to the 3 or 4 races now, I think. Yeah, 3 or 4 races now. We really enjoy racing and watching Formula One and also Formula E.
And Formula E is very nice.
It's fun.
No
and also,
smelly fumes.
Where we lived, one of the places that we lived was literally the same street as this. Like 3 streets away, like down the street is where this took place.
Oh, how you say in the US, like 4 blocks.
Yeah, 4 blocks away. We live like 4 blocks away from where they have the Formula E. And this year is actually a World Championship. So, and the final races are coming up in Berlin in August. We'll be over in the UK. Oh, this is one of the clips that I had the wrong settings of my camera. I'd actually put it on high frame rate, which means 720 with this old camera that I had.
Oh, right. So this is why it's smaller.
So this is why it's a bit smaller, and I was really annoyed because this is a fantastic place to juggle. Wadi Rum in Jordan. I've shared some clips from here.
Amazing.
And it's so amazing. It's where they film like everything that's set on Mars, The Martian, and also all the latest Star Wars movies. You know,
it looks outer
It looks
world.
exactly Star Wars. This is a place where there's a place with with a city on top that gets blown up or something in one of these movies.
Yeah, I remember.
So all of the Star Wars movies are filmed here, including and then The Martian and everything like that. And so this was the clip that I did, and I'm always really annoyed that it's on 720p rather than.
What are you doing at the beginning then?
Well, I put some rocks there to work out where I was going to stand. I went out there, put some rocks, came back, looked at it, and I was like, yeah, that's framed up right. Okay. And then went back out and like just moved the rocks away because they were like piled up on top of each other in a weird way, and then I didn't want them to be that way.
That's fun.
So yeah, fantastic place. Been there a few times. More soon on Wadi Rum. And also, I'm annoyed that this is not in 1080p. Next up, on the day of the Olympic Games, I posted this and said the opening of this one. This was Wrong Olympics. This is actually just somebody who I just gave the camera to and said, hey, film me standing on here. And he, of course, decided to get creative. So this is the kind of thing that happens if you give it to someone who's not an expert like Juliana, or I don't set it up on a little tripod myself.
Yep.
Is that people go, oh, that's... Because for me, this is the obvious clip. Just hold it like that.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to get it, I put it down on the floor, but then it's too low because then I'm standing on top of something high up, and I'm like standing too high.
Yeah.
But I actually did then use that as the Juggling in the Olympics podcast that we did.
Yes. It's pretty good.
So yeah,
pretty good one.
I said awesome, but that was a fun clip. this is, of course, the one of the stadiums in
Athens.
In Athens, which is from thousands of years ago. And then, of course, I didn't turn up properly. Thousands of years ago, this was built, and I've always thought this was something that they used that was built for the first modern Olympics that they did. But it turns out no, they just dug it up and used it for that. It had kind of been buried and scuffed up, and they kind of repaired it a bit and then used it for that. But yes, the Olympics were here in Athens, and also now the Olympics are ongoing. And as we mentioned in the podcast about the Olympics, I've not watched as much of these Olympics as I would normally do. They don't really interest me so much. Just kind of kept an eye on the tennis and some of the biking events, and that's pretty much it. What was it? There was one other event that we looked at for like 5 minutes, but I can't remember what that was. Oh, kayaking. There was slalom.
We watched the finale where they had literally the last 3 runs or something
of the canoeing, and that's it.
Kayaking.
So, yeah. So it hasn't really been a big Olympic year for us. All right, next up, a few more to go. And I did like a mini theme at the end. Some cool rocks. This is a cool rock in Brimham Rocks. We should go back there this year, maybe. Maybe. Brimham Rocks is a place that I visited many times in my childhood. It's in Yorkshire, in North Yorkshire Dales. And when we were there in 2016, I took Juliana along there. And
looks a bit like a chicken.
What, a chicken?
Yeah.
This? Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Anyway, it's a cool rock. It sits on a thing and looks really good fun.
It does.
And actually, Nathan got engaged there. The place that Nathan proposed to his girlfriend, now fiance, was actually also not in this place, but in Brimham Rocks. There's someone there, so it obviously means a lot to Nathan as well.
Yes.
So he took his new girlfriend there, and I took my girlfriend there. We managed to beat him to getting married, though. All right, next up we have another cool rock. This is again in Wadi Rum, but this isn't from the same trip. This is actually, you see the weather is different there.
Yeah.
This was the time.
This looks so cool.
This is me trying to look at my camera, normally there's stuff that I cut out the start of the clip, and I'm like, here? And then I actually find the middle of the video. That's actually way bigger rock than it looks, because it's quite a bit further back.
Yeah. Perspective is difficult.
Perspective is difficult to see there. And
that's fun. Wind. It's very windy.
Yeah. And I don't know what I was doing, but obviously some other people were there. Oh yeah, it's one of those times where. Oh yeah, okay, and I was just mentioning it maybe for the vlog, because I was vlogging that day as well. I made a vlog. That was the same day that I should share some of those clips as well. I was there, and a helicopter flew over the top and was going to land, and then the guy in the truck drove under where the helicopter was going to land, and it was this crazy thing, and I was like, I was being blasted. It was a fun day actually, because I was going. The taxi driver got off, like picked us up from the cruise ship and took us to the hotel, and we were going to fly out the next morning, and he just said, hey, I'm actually got a trip. I've got a tour group going up to a family. I'm taking a family up to Wadi Rum. Does anyone want to come? And I'm like, me, because I'd done it like 2 years before. And I was like, I'll do it again. It's like $50 or whatever you wanted just for me to take it up. Yeah. And so I just joined in with another family, and we sat in the back of the truck. You go into the back of these pickup trucks, and you hold onto the back. Yeah. And they all got a bit chilly because it was actually a bit windy and chilly. But I was just out there the whole time going, woo, look at this. Again, you can check my full vlog about it. It's a really fun day out. And I actually went to the place where Matt Damon in The Martian goes and sits down and goes all like that. I was like, oh, this is the spot. So I actually, this time, because I've been there before, and we went to different places, I actually said, look, I've been there and there. Can you show me some other arches and some rocks? So he actually took me to not to the highlights. He actually took me to the second level highlights, or like a different loop around that I'd already done before.
That's fun.
This is again our trip to Ireland. This was for the 2014 Mill Street EJC, and we also travelled around and we went over to oh look, it's almost exactly 7 years ago.
Yes.
And we went to a little place off the coast. Where was it? It's called? This is a cliffside at Dun Aongosa, and this is like some Stone Age cliffside place.
I'm always so scared. And it's incredible. These cliffs always make me really queasy.
You're actually closer to the edge than I was. I'm actually standing a little bit further back in. But yeah, I'm like, and I'm going to juggle here. And I'm like, but I don't want to. I want to get to the place where if I drop, because I need those balls for my show, because they're just things I use in my show as I'm traveling around. That's some really good camera work that you did there. You didn't actually see this on Instagram because it's then a square video. So all of this would be cut out. So as this person with the green jacket walks in, you're like, oh, I'll just zoom in a bit and I can take that clip as well. But yeah, we actually had some fun. We hired a bike that day to go around the island.
Yes, we did.
And we hired a tandem bike, and that was really good fun. Another time that we were on a cruise, we went to an island, I think the Scilly Isles, and we were, do you have a tandem bike? They said no. And they said, but we do have an electric bike. And then Juliana hired an electric bike that day. I was just a normal bike. And then Juliana fell in love with electric bikes, and now she has her own electric bike.
Because on that day it was windy, rainy, and there were hills.
Yeah.
So the three things that I hate about biking all came together. But on an electric bike,
you don't care?
I don't care at all.
I had a great day. And the final random clip was another cool rock. This is the one that I'd shared before. You said, oh, it felt like you'd shared some of these before.
If you would have done that with Reader, I would have probably said no.
This is literally the scariest place I've ever juggled. And it was on the first year of me doing International Juggler. And after doing this, because you can't really see, but this looked quite substantial here. And it is substantial. But it's actually got a hole through the middle of the rock.
Oh, no.
And it's like pointing upwards. So and it was windy and stuff. So it took me actually ages. This is actually a clip that I have edited, because I've set up the camera, walked all the way around, walked out there, and I'm like standing on the edge, and I was so scared. And this is the only place I've ever been where if I had fallen over, I would have died, because this was a lot. Well, maybe not died, but that would have been a really big ragdolly kind of thing.
You can't
and
do
I
that
did
with
that,
me.
and I did that, and I went back, and I was like, that is the last place. That's the last time I'm ever going to make myself scared to get a juggling video, and since then I've never done it. There's been places like when I was in Norway and other places, and even Wadi Rum, there's many places that I could have done.
Taking selfies and shit. Don't do that.
Don't do the thing. Don't do the thing.
No, life is worth more than.
Let's watch that one back one more time.
And the video.
And this will be it. So I think we've had a fun little thing there. 41 minutes. Oh, just flip the mouse over. So, cool. I mentioned this in 2009. Cool rock, very scary spot to juggle. Not just the very scary spot, the most scary.
The scariest.
The most scary spot that I've ever juggled. So, that's it.
Cool.
All right, let's go back to webcam only. I just want to say a big thank you to all of our top Patreon supporters here as well. This is, again, just a little bonus for our Patreon supporters. So if you're enjoying this, not many people watching tonight, mostly because I didn't promote it until 1 minute before. And I was like, didn't make a big deal of it. This is probably going to be the last live stream about International Juggler, because I kind of got through a lot of the clips. Like I went back to... like I say, I've got 2,000 video clips of me juggling around the world, and now I've shared, I think, around about 400 or something over.
That's a lot.
Maybe not 400, but quite a lot. I've done over a year's worth now in COVID lockdown. But here's the thing: this month I'm not going to be sharing any more clips, because we're actually going on a trip. Our first trip together since July last year, when we went to the French Juggling Convention. We're going over. We can finally go over to the UK
without quarantining.
We're both fully vaccinated, and we can go over to the UK without having to fully quarantine. We just need to have a COVID test beforehand. We're taking the ferry across. We're going to visit my parents. My father is very, very, very ill, and we really want to go and visit him before he dies, because it's probably going to be soon by all accounts.
Come on,
look,
we gotta visit
everybody
your family
says,
and friends, and
I'm just saying I want to visit my father, because he's very unwell.
Yes.
And it's the first time that we visited our family since we got married, so this is kind of our honeymoon as well. We're gonna tick off and visit all the people who we should have been inviting to our wedding, if we were ever going to invite people to our wedding. We're
visiting individually.
We were never going to invite people to our wedding. But if we did invite people to our wedding, and we didn't use the excuse that the COVID was on, that we didn't invite people to our wedding, we did it. We got married. So this is also our honeymoon. And so not going to be sharing any international video clips from the archives. It's all going to be new International Juggler video clips.
Video clips.
So we'll share some of those coming up in not next week, but the week after. But good news is I've actually got a weekly vlogging coming up this week, starting Monday through to Sunday. I've got weekly vlogs to share about me rebuilding the magnet machine. Sorry, I keep getting mixed up, because the vlogging of the marble machine has been ongoing too. Anyway, this is the magnet machine, and I'm pretty much doing the same thing as the marble machine. Wintergarten, Martin from Wintergarten, he does on his live streams and videos, is he had a video of a machine which looked really good, and everyone's like, hey, that's really cool, and he's like, yeah, but it doesn't work.
Yes.
And now he's making it.
Apart.
It breaks every time. It doesn't work. I can't even play through a whole song on the marble machine without it breaking. Can't travel with it. Can't do anything. And he's doing a whole rebuild of that with the marble machine.
How many years now? 5 years?
Yeah, long time. 3 years probably of the marble machine X. Anyway, I'm doing the same thing with the magnet machine X, although it isn't. It's just the magnet machine rebuild, where I'm taking the magnet machine, the idea, the concept of it, of the 2 different versions of that I've shared over the years, the ones with the foot pedals, the ones with the hand pedals, how it all works, and I'm making it so I can travel with it and it's mechanically sound. So I've already got a week's worth of daily vlogs about that I've done over the last 2 weeks pretty much.
Sounds good.
So I'll be sharing them next week and on YouTube. And so again, thank you very much to our top patrons. Might as well say it. Thanks to Mark and Michelle and Robert and Craig and Cool Beans and Kathy and Joel and Rafa and Sid and Chris and Gerald and Mike and Andreas and Martin and Flo and Hendrik and John and Mark and Jeremy and Matt, Matthew and Greg and Juliana. Juliana still supports me here as well. And Keith and Yuli and Robert. And I'm looping back around to the start again. That's from July as well. So those are our top patrons, and they're all our $5 or more patrons. So thank you very much to all of you guys, and also
thank you to everyone who also gives $1.
Yeah, all the $1 and $2 people and €1 people. A big thank you very much. There's 60. We've got 60 Patreon supporters, and again, lots of stuff coming up in August. With again us traveling, we might be going to the Play, not a juggling festival.
Let's see.
So we will be meeting up with Jugglers as well, and traveling in the UK in August for a few weeks. So thanks a lot for your support. I hope you enjoyed this video, the live stream, International Juggler Randoms live stream, the last ever International Juggler live stream that we're going to do. We'll do some other live streams in the future about other topics. Maybe I'll do a live magnet machine demonstration at questions and answer sessions if people enjoy the videos that I put out over throughout August. So that's it. Good. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
Goodbye.
No, I need to. Oh no, where is it? Here. Bye.